Most people go camping for peace. Fresh air, crackling fire, stars above. But deep in the forest, when the world goes quiet, you don't know what's watching you. Tonight, we explore 3 real camping encounters in the woods that still haunt the survivors to this day. Keep your fire burning, and don't look toward the tree line. Story 1, Footsteps around the tent. I go camping alone a lot. Not for fun exactly, more like therapy. Silence, trees, wind moving through branches like soft whispers. It's the only place I feel like my brain shuts off the world for a while. People always tell me camping solo is dangerous. But in my head, humans are the only real threat out there. Animals usually avoid you. And honestly, I've always felt safer in the woods than in a city at night. That changed after last fall. I'd worked brutal weeks back to back. Burnout crept up on me. Migraines, panic, feeling disconnected from everything. So I packed my gear and drove 3 hours to a state forest I'd visited twice before. Remote, but not too remote. Enough trails that rangers patrol once a day, but far enough that cell service meant nothing. Perfect escape, at least that's what I thought. I reached the site just before sunset. Evening light filtered through pine branches, glowing orange gold. The air smelled like rain-soaked bark. Exactly the peace I came for. I set up my tent, gathered logs, made a small fire. A basic camp, just a tent, a tarp, the fire ring. I cooked ramen, the simplest dinner known to mankind, and listened to the quiet. No cars, no voices, only crackling fire and crickets. That night I wasn't scared, not even thinking about danger, just exhausted and relieved. After putting out the fire, I crawled into my sleeping bag and drifted off fast. In that deep, heavy way your body shuts down after being overworked. I woke up later, not sure what time, to eerie stillness. No wind, no rustling leaves, no insects buzzing. A kind of silence that doesn't feel natural, like the world is holding its breath. My heart rate rose without knowing why. Just instinct, a quiet alarm going off inside. I laid completely still, eyes open, staring at the tent ceiling. That's when I heard it. Footsteps, slow, heavy, crunching leaves one at a time. Not an animal. I know how deer move, sporadic, skittish, fast. This was deliberate, measured, human. I told myself it might be a ranger, but rangers don't walk around campsites in complete darkness without calling out first. The footsteps circled my tent, dragging through dried pine needles, stopping short in front of the entrance. I could hear breathing, slow and steady, like whoever or whatever was standing there was taking their time, listening. I didn't move, didn't breathe, every muscle locked. It felt like if I twitched even a finger, the thing outside would know I was awake. A whisper of air hit the tent fabric, breathing, right on the other side. I could picture someone leaning over, pressing their face inches away from mine through the nylon. I swallowed, and the tiny sound felt deafening. Then a long, soft exhale, like someone sniffing, smelling the air. My skin crawled, my eyes teared. I wanted to scream but couldn't. My body felt frozen like prey. It stayed there, silent, breathing for what felt like forever. 5 minutes? 10? Time stopped meaning anything. My mind was racing. Bear? No, bears huff louder, move heavier. Person? Out here? At 2 a.m.? Why? Why stand silently outside someone's tent? Finally, I forced myself to speak. My voice came out shaky, pathetic. Hey, I have a gun. Total lie. Silence. Then the footsteps moved again, slow at first, then faster. Branches cracking, leaves thrashing. The sound faded, swallowed by the trees. I stayed awake till morning, gripping my camping knife like it would actually do something. When the first sliver of sunlight hit the tent, I unzipped it slowly, terrified something would be waiting. The woods looked exactly the same as earlier, calm, peaceful, perfect, like nothing had happened. But the ground told a different story. Footprints, dozens of them, circled my tent. Bare feet, not boots, not shoes. Bare human feet in damp dirt and scattered pine needles. Some prints were deep, like the person stood still for a long time. Right by my tent. right over my head where I lay. I felt cold crawl over my body. That primal fear again. Deep, ancient, shaking me to the core. I packed faster than I ever have in my life. Every snap of a branch made me spin around. Every bird call sounded wrong, like the woods were trying to sound normal, pretending nothing happened. Before leaving, I looked once more around the campsite. No trash, no sign anyone else had been there. No reason for anyone to sneak silently around my tent barefoot in the middle of the night. I drove straight home, replaying the sounds over and over. The breathing, the careful footsteps, the long pause at my door, the exhale almost curious. Some people told me maybe it was a sleepwalker, a homeless person, a weird drifter. But you don't silently circle a stranger's tent barefoot in total darkness if you're just lost or harmless. And every time I think back to it, there's something worse. A thought I never shake. What if it wasn't human? What if the woods weren't silent when I woke up, but listening? That was the last time I camped alone. Even now, when I try to sleep, sometimes I swear I hear leaves crunching somewhere far away. Slow, methodical, getting closer. And every instinct in me screams the same thing it did that night. Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't let it know you're awake. Not yet. Story 2: Forest Mimic. You never believed campfire stories, especially the ones about voices in the woods. You thought they were just stories old hikers repeated to scare newcomers. That changed last fall. You and 3 friends, Daniel, Lexi, and Miguel, planned a weekend camping trip in a dense forest reserve a few hours from town. The plan was simple. Escape stress, disconnect from phones, enjoy nature. The forest was known for its surreal quiet. Thick pines, fog that curled around trees like smoke. Trails used mostly by experienced hikers. That was the first red flag. But you didn't notice it then. The first day was peaceful. You set up camp, cooked over the fire, joked about who would die first in a horror movie. You laughed and pretended not to feel unnerved by how silent the woods were at night. No bugs, no wind, just stillness. Silence like something was listening. You shrugged it off. Forests are weird, right? But the unease settled deep in your stomach, and for the rest of the night, your ears strained for sounds that never came. On the second day, Miguel went hiking alone at sunrise. He liked photography and wanted missed shots. He promised to be back in an hour. He wasn't. 2 hours passed. Then 3. You tried calling his phone. No signal. Shouting his name echoed like the trees swallowed the sound. Finally, around noon, you heard someone crashing through the brush. Footsteps, fast, frantic. Then Miguel stumbled into camp, panting, pale, shaking hard enough to rattle. He refused water, refused to sit. He just stared into the trees like something was still following him. When he finally spoke, his voice cracked. Did any of you call me? You exchanged confused looks. No, man. We've been here. Miguel swallowed hard. It sounded exactly like you, calling my name, over and over. But it wasn't coming from one place. It kept moving. He pointed deeper into the woods, trembling. It sounded mad. You joked weakly, thinking he was pranking you, but his face didn't change. He looked like someone who had seen something wrong. Something that did not fit in the world you knew. Lexi put a hand on his arm. Maybe you got turned around and freaked yourself. Before she finished, a voice echoed through the trees. Miguel, your name wasn't Miguel, but that wasn't what chilled you. It was Lexi's voice, exactly her pitch, tone, breath. But Lexi was standing right beside you. She froze. Daniel's eyes widened. You felt your heartbeat slam against your ribs. Silence followed, heavy and unnatural. Then again softer, stretched. Miguel, Lexi's voice, but wrong. Like someone trying to sound human but missing something vital. The syllables bent, pulled, almost animal. Miguel shook violently. That's it. That's what I heard. Your instincts screamed to run. But where would you go? Civilization was a half-day hike away. Daniel grabbed a pocket knife. Probably someone messing with us. But you knew deep down it wasn't a person. The forest was too still. No crunching leaves, no footsteps, just voice. like it came from everywhere and nowhere at once. You tried to stay calm, packing supplies, deciding to leave immediately. No one argued. As you grabbed your backpack, something else whispered from past the trees. "Please, help me." This time it sounded like you. Your own voice. Your blood turned to ice. Miguel whispered, "It copies us." You didn't respond, because you couldn't. Every instinct inside you screamed that acknowledging it made things worse, like noticing a predator creeping close. You moved fast. No talking, no joking, just moving. Every branch snapped louder. Every shadow looked alive. Fog thickened around the trail like it followed you. Halfway down the path, the voice returned. "Wait, don't leave. I'm lost." This time it used Daniel's voice. Perfectly. Daniel stopped cold. Shaken. "That's..." You yanked his arm hard. "Don't listen. Don't look back." But the thing didn't stop. "Come back. It's dark here. Help me." Sometimes it used Lexi's voice. Sometimes Miguel's. Sometimes yours. You tried to ignore it, but after minutes of torment, it spoke again. This time angry, warped. "Don't. Walk. Away." It didn't sound human anymore. It felt like the forest itself spoke. A low vibration in your bones. Trees creaked. Leaves rustled like something huge pushed through them. You didn't run, you bolted. Branches whipped your face. Roots nearly tripped you. Lungs burned. But you didn't stop. Once, in the panic, you looked over your shoulder. Bad mistake. Between the trees, barely visible in the fog, stood a figure. Long-limbed, pale, tall enough that its head nearly touched low branches. It leaned, neck bending unnaturally, as if studying which one of you would fall first. You tore your gaze away before you could see its face. Everyone ran harder. When you finally reached the trailhead and the parking area, you didn't slow down until all 4 doors slammed shut and the engine roared. No one spoke during the drive. Not until signal returned and Miguel's phone pinged. He burst into tears. Loud, panicked sobbing that made your chest ache. You didn't breathe easy until you hit the highway. Sun setting behind you like the forest was trying to pull the night closer. Later that night, back home in your bed, still trembling, you told yourself it was over. You almost convinced yourself, until your phone buzzed. An audio message from an unknown number. You pressed play. A faint whisper filled the speaker. "Come back." Then silence. A second message arrived. No voice, just breathing. But not human breathing, long, distorted inhalations. Wet, heavy. Then, finally, in your voice, "I see you." You blocked the number. Deleted the files. Didn't sleep for 3 nights. Sometimes, when you're alone and the house settles, you swear you still hear your name drifting through the air. Like wind through pine needles. Soft, wrong, patient. And every time you tell yourself the same thing. It's not calling you. It's waiting. Waiting for you to answer. Waiting for you to go back. Story 3. Something touched the tent. You always thought camping horror stories were exaggerated. Branches in the wind. Animals brushing against canvas. A brain tricking itself in the dark. You believed logic. Nature wasn't haunted, just misunderstood. That belief died one night in the Appalachian woods. You weren't alone. You went with your cousin Aaron. He'd been begging you for a real woods experience before winter hit. No marked campground. No facilities. Just wilderness. He said it would be peaceful. He said it would clear your mind. Instead, it broke it. The hike. The trail started normal enough. Maple leaves crunching, cool air filling your lungs, birds occasionally calling. But as the hours passed, the forest grew unnaturally quiet. Even Aaron noticed. "Weird," he muttered. "Even squirrels are silent." You laughed it off, pretending calm. But deep down, your instincts whispered danger. When nature goes silent, something else is listening. By sunset, you reached a small clearing. Tall pines surrounded you like columns in a cathedral, shadows stretching forever. You pitched your tent, cooked instant noodles, tried to enjoy the isolation. The first unease arrived with the wind. Not loud, just unnatural. like a breath instead of a breeze. Aaron whispered, staring into the dark. It feels like someone's out there. You didn't answer, because you felt it too. Night falls. Inside the tent, zip tight, zip small, you tried to sleep. Your flashlight flickered. Your phone had no signal. A quiet dread crawled under your skin, settling in your spine. Aaron's voice broke the silence. Hey, you awake? Yeah. Hear that? You held your breath. Nothing. Then subtle, soft, grass crunching, as if someone walked barefoot around the tent. Step, pause, step, slow, careful, curious. Your heart slammed against your ribs. Aaron's breathing quickened. Probably a deer, you whispered, but both of you knew deer don't move like that. This wasn't wandering. It was circling. Then came the sound. A long exhale right behind Aaron's side of the tent. Too close, too human. Aaron whispered, that wasn't an animal. Something brushed the fabric beside his head. Not scraping, stroking. Slow, deliberate, like fingers dragging lightly across canvas. Aaron jerked away, bumping you. Panic filled the tent like smoke. Okay, what the hell? You grabbed a flashlight and shone it toward the tent wall. Nothing, but the sound continued, circling again. Step, step, then silence. Then a tap. Single, gentle, on your side. Your throat dried, muscles locked. Another tap, soft, playful, testing the boundary between inside and outside. Aaron's voice cracked. Say something. Let it know we're here. You shook your head. Instinct screamed. Do not acknowledge it. The voice. Minutes passed. Hours. Time warped into fear. Just when you thought it was gone, a whisper seeped through the canvas. Not outside. Right beside your ear. Let me in. You froze. Aaron stiffened beside you. No animal makes words. No prankster hikes miles into the woods for a joke. Another whisper. Raspier. Closer. It's cold out here. You clamped a hand over your mouth, shaking. Aaron grabbed his pocket knife like it could help. Please, open up. The tent shook lightly, something pressing palm-like shapes against it. You saw them silhouetted by the faint moonlight. 5 long finger shapes. Too long. Slide, slide, feeling the fabric. Mapping you. Aaron snapped. Hey, he screamed. Leave us alone. You almost cried. Speaking was the worst thing he could do. The forest fell dead silent. Then, Aaron said his name, but it wasn't mimicking you. It sounded like someone drowning while trying to speak, garbling the vowels, stretching the consonants, trying to sound human and failing. On. Aaron's knife clinked as it fell from his shaking hand. The grab. Suddenly, the tent wall beside you caved inward, like a face pressed through from the outside. You saw the shape of a forehead, the curve of a cheek, lips dragging against thin nylon. Then something gripped the bottom of the tent and pulled, not tearing, just tugging, testing how easily it could open you like prey. You and Aaron held the zippers down with white-knuckled fists, tugged again, harder, fabric strained, metal teeth rattled. Aaron whispered a prayer. You didn't breathe. Then it stopped. Deep silence. Air thick like the world was holding its breath with you. And then, scratch. A single dragged nail across the tent roof. Slow, long, purposeful. You bit down on panic until blood filled your mouth. The scratching stopped. The longest night. Neither of you slept. You stayed frozen, backs touching, whispering nothing. Every rustle made you flinch. Every second felt like it stretched forever. Hours passed in a nightmare stillness. At dawn, light slowly bled through the fabric. Birds finally chirped again. You unzipped the tent slowly, bracing for something unspeakable. Nothing stood outside. No footprints, no claw marks, but the grass flattened in a circle around your tent, as if something had paced and waited. You packed in silence, left food, left rope, left half your gear. You just needed to leave. Halfway down the trail, Aaron stopped walking. Do you think it followed us? You didn't answer, not because you didn't want to, but because you heard something far behind you, branches shifting, a soft step, the faintest whisper riding the wind. Cold. You didn't look back, and you never camped again. But sometimes, late at night, when your windows rattle gently or wind brushes your curtains, you swear you hear it, not outside, inside your room, soft fingers against fabric, like canvas, a whisper crawling down your spine. Let me in.